Zest is in, where resilience begins, not fixing the cracks.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Zest is Zen with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that'll take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. I am so excited to welcome my guest today, Alneja Horvat. She is a transformational mentor for modern women and fertility and mama coach, guiding women through some of life's most profound transitions. After being told that she may never become a mother, she turned inward not only to transform her own fertility journey, but went on to create powerful methods that now support others to do the same. Through her deeply embodied and trauma-aware approach, she invites us into a powerful question. What if the blocks we carry are not the end of our story, but the beginning of our transformation? So this is definitely an episode that, regardless of any women or men on any part of their journey, what she's going to share today is very insightful. So please share a lot of love by subscribing to amplify my guest voice today. It costs you absolutely nothing, but allows this episode and many more to be shared to many more hearts and minds. So thank you if you've done so already. And may this episode bring you the hope, healing, and deep self-trust that you may not know that you require going within. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for this amazing introduction. I love your energy, so I'm really looking forward to this conversation, and I can't wait to dive in. I really love the question that you kind of pointed out in the end, that whenever we kind of figure out there's a block in our life, no matter in which area, that it's maybe not really a block that is trying to stop us from something, but it's maybe more like an invitation to change, to transform, to heal certain things.
Yes.
That it's basically just the beginning of something new. So I love your
thank you so much. And I love the way you've just said that, because I do believe in the power of words, and you use the word invitation, which I think is such a beautiful way to put it, because I'm sure going way back, and I know there's more that unfolds in our lives. I'm sure there's much more that's happened in your life prior to that, but that was a really big part of, I believe, your unfolding and what you are so passionate about doing now. But equally, when I think we see it more as an invitation, it invites us into exploring it, not saying this is going to be the yes or the no or the right or the wrong, but it allows us actually some hope, some trust, some what ifs, I think. And I think that's super beautiful. So thinking about that, and thinking about the types of people who would naturally be interested in this type of topic, what straight away do you feel from your journey would be something that would really empower someone listening right now who it doesn't even know where to begin?
Yeah, well, I'm usually the person people come to in the end. So one you kind of seek out when you tried everything else and then it worked. I'm kind of used to the concept. Oh, I tried this, I tried that, and now I'm here because you're my last resort. It kind of feels, it's an honor, but it's also pressure, because everyone is expecting you to do something that maybe someone before you couldn't. I don't really fix people's problems. No. Like, I don't have a magic wand. I can't really fix the symptoms, but what I usually do is I take them on a journey to figure out where the symptoms came from. So what is basically blocking them, and why are they stuck in certain areas of life? And I call it kind of intuitive diagnostics.
Yeah.
And I I always love to figure out what's behind the problems that people have. And
Yes.
everything that I do, it kind of derives from my personal story. So I've been blocked in different areas of life, and I always approach them in a very similar way. So it's never fixing the symptom, it's not focusing on the current problem, but rather going back and figuring out where it started. So what's the root cause of it? Because that's the only way for you to fix it. And I see that people usually, they want the pill, they want a procedure, they want that quick fix, but sometimes that's not enough.
Yeah, I
There are
hear you.
cases when it works, but usually if you're blocked for a reason. It's just like I said, it's an invitation for you to look deeper and to figure out what needs to change.
Yes,
It's like the circumstances are wrong. You need to change something. You need to heal something. You need to remember something that you kind of put into a box and you just swallowed it somewhere deep in there, just buried it deep inside. And now it has to come out. And we always get challenges in those areas of life where we are, let's say, most sensitive.
Yeah.
The areas that are gonna hurt most. The soul always knows what's gonna be strong enough motivation for you to unlock and unpack all those hidden things. Because there are things that you're just not really ready to say, oh, well, yeah, that's a problem, but it's not a big enough problem for me to go and open up Pandora's box and bring everything out from my past.
Yes.
There are things that you would say, okay, for this thing, I'm willing and ready to do whatever it takes. And the soul always knows what that is for you. For some people, it's, I don't know, it's losing stability or their job. For other people, it's divorce or the death of a loved one. And for some people, it's fertility issues. It's very different. But it's always that one area that you're most afraid of change and loss. And that's the area that's gonna bring you the biggest and most amazing transformations in life.
Beautiful, so well said, and I can 100% relate to everything that you've just shared, and that's why I always find it so intriguing and so powerful when I connect with incredible women like you, and because I think if we focus just on, say, the theme or the topic of what we're discussing, everyone thinks that that's all it's going to be. But what you've just so beautifully explained, and obviously please elaborate on this if I haven't said it correctly, but what I'm hearing is actually it isn't just fertility. When you haven't, there's something deep within you equally again, and it's not saying that that's the wrong thing. Everyone is on their own journey, but suppressing it with a pill or something else is not getting to the root of it, to the cause of it. And what I've tend to notice as well is it isn't often just in one area. Like, say it's trust, it will be in multiple areas. But going back to your own story and what you experienced, like with many things in life, I can see how people come to you near the end, because it is such a sensitive and such a precious thing to go through, whether that's something that's happened in your life that's affected it, or just something that's coming up. So I really, really appreciate you sharing that. And I can equally see that the beauty, what I'm hearing as well, but please share your perspective on this. But what I'm hearing as well is, as much as we can say, come to you, get a coach, it's still a deep inward journey. And I believe that you just so beautifully, like, at the end of the day, if we're constantly doing something on our own and we're not seeing results, that's because there's blind spots. There's something we're not quite seeing. So this is the thing. So when I just want to like stress the importance of this, when people hear, oh, well, everything's within and you can do it. Yes, you can, but equally, you were doing it by yourself already. So maybe, just maybe, you need to connect with incredible women like you who can help us see our blind spots. So I really just want to make sure that, because sometimes we hear things and we haven't quite integrated it or understood it. What would you say about that?
Yes, that's true. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do ourselves, right? And it's great if you do a lot of inner work or spiritual work. You can help yourself a lot.
Yes, yes.
There's certain things that you're maybe too involved in, and you can't really see things straight because you can't really be objective. You experience your life and your challenges very emotionally, and sometimes it's really hard to say, okay, am I really sensing this is the reason, or this is it something that I want, or something that someone told me and now I just cling on to.
Yes.
Because when it comes to us, we're also afraid, to maybe tap into things that are too difficult to work on. And sometimes we want it to be something that's easier to handle. So you can't really always tell, is this really the reason, or is it the reason that I want it to be?
Yes, I hear you.
Outside is always helpful because someone who's not involved in your story, who's not emotionally involved in it, they can have they can give you this wider picture. They can really help you kind of figure out what's the real reason behind it. And sometimes it's not really, I don't want to see the truth. Sometimes it's also, I can't see it because it's been buried so deeply that I don't even connect the dots. And sometimes people are really surprised when I tell them, look, this is the problem. This is the reason, not the one that you thought it is. That's just another symptom.
Yeah, and how beautiful is that?
Oh my God, I would never connect the dots. And that's where, after you do a lot of work on your own and you're still stuck, or you're still standing on that same spot, or you just hit a wall, that's when you need to kind of, also admit to yourself, okay, I tried. I did everything in my power. This is all I could do, and this is all I could think of, but it stops here.
Yes.
That doesn't mean failure. It's actually, admitting that I can't really move forward on my own is kind of, an expression of inner strength. And it's also some sort of spiritual wisdom, maturity, that you're able to admit, look, I'm stuck. I need help. And I think this is very difficult for people who are engaged in personal and spiritual growth, because they feel this pressure. If I'm involved in this, then I need to know how to fix myself. How much easier to fix others than yourself. So I think we all need, let's say, outer guidance every now and then. So yes, definitely. If you can help yourself, that's great. But if you hit a wall, then I would say seek out help.
Absolutely. And from what I've learned, and I would love your take on this, is often the doing, there's an element of letting it go. And usually when you let it go, and even that can be quite tricky to really pinpoint of what that means to the individual person, but I'm sure you support and guide people with that. Because there's surrender, let go, but you still know within if you're still, seeking out those articles or whatever it is you're still doing, and your mind is racing, which is normal, because 100% when it's a life altering thing happening in your life, it's really important that you, would you say as well, have that time of feeling it, really feeling it, and allowing it to come through you, and yeah, not just straight away finding the next fix, the next solution. Sometimes you actually have to have that time of sitting with it and really feeling some of those, at times can be very painful emotions, I think.
Yes, indeed. This is actually a very good question. You know, we often have dreams, desires, things that we want to achieve, right? And then we work on it. We try really hard. We do everything possible, and we just don't get there. There's always something that gets in the way. You're almost there, but you just kind of can't really reach it.
Yeah.
That's when I usually say, you're either doing it the wrong way, the circumstances are not right, something needs to change, or maybe that's not the right path to get there.
Because sometimes, and because you just said the word soul earlier, sometimes what we think we want and desire and need is very, very different to what our soul really wants, desires, and needs.
Exactly.
And I remember once saying this powerful intention of, you know, I guess you could say I was, you know, just constantly almost that force energy. And I remember hearing someone say once of, if you really want that, you want to see the alignment in your life and the changes in your life, set a powerful intention to align with your soul, not what you think you want. And I remember doing that, and oh my gosh, my life completely
Yes, it changed, right?
yes.
Yes,
It was
because
very powerful, very quick as well.
yeah, I can imagine.
It was a bit too quick for me. I was like, whoa, I haven't even put my seatbelt on.
Oh yeah. So you see, that's a confirmation of what I said, because sometimes you try so hard and you invest years of work and energy and time and money into your goal, and it just doesn't happen. And you're exhausted and you're tired because it was either the wrong way, the wrong time, the wrong place, something was off. But then when you do it the right way, under the right circumstances, it just flows. So whenever you get stuck, that's a clear sign something's not working. And you need to reroute. I don't know how, but you need to find a way to you know, get to that goal in a different way. And it's so amazing, you know, when you said sometimes it's not so important that we do things, but rather to maybe just pause and step back, because you know, when you want something very badly, that's all you can focus on.
Yeah.
Just with it, right? You can't really think about anything else, and then what you kind of get stuck in that that stressful state where you're not really in manifesting vibe, but rather in lack mentality, because all you can think of is, why am I not there yet? I did this and that and I'm still not there. So you always focus on that end point, and sometimes you miss those little wins, and you forget how the journey of getting there is also very important.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that I learned on my personal journey, like even the fertility journey, because I figured out that it wasn't really me not being able to be a mom, but there were things that I needed to do before I got there. And it was clearing the toxic ancestral patterns. It was healing my childhood wounds. It was me changing my life, my lifestyle, as well as me accepting the fact that the work that I was doing before was just not cut out for me.
Yeah.
You know, it was not something that my soul was aligned with.
Yeah.
And if I can be really honest, I hated that job. So, you spend, I mean, we all spend most of our day at work, like, right?
Yeah.
It's a great amount of your time goes into preparing and working, and then for some people traveling to work and back home. So it's a really important part of your day. And if you feel miserable there, nothing will flow in your life. Absolutely. Because you're gonna be blocked most of the day. And only when I figured out that that the circumstances were wrong, that I needed to change certain things, then what happened was the domino effect. And that's what I always see with my clients. Once I tap into their core wound, once I figure out what the main block is and we clear it, then the path just opens up. Yeah. And not just in that one area, but also in other areas of life. So
absolutely.
That's the beauty of inner work. Because if you just get a magic wand and someone will say, now you have a baby, or oh, now you found the love of your life, or oh, you just won, I don't know, $1 million. Perfect, great. But maybe because you didn't work on your wounds, you're gonna lose that money. You're gonna lose the person, and you're gonna be a shitty mom. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's important that you do that inner work, because you not being able to have it means you're not ready yet. Something needs to change.
Absolutely. And I was just thinking, because I always think very, very much in visuals when people explain things. So even when you were saying that, I was thinking very powerfully that, for example, say the job. So when we said, it could be an aspect, but it leaks into when it's a really key core part of your life and your time and your energy, you're going to be that mother or whatever it is that you want to bring into your life. But equally, as you so beautifully said, and please correct me if I'm not saying this the way you express, but for example, if you the job, the feeling of the job, even when say the baby comes or it happens, you're still going to that same place, you're still in that same energy, you're still feeling that same way. So even if fertility was an issue based on other aspects of your life, because that's the other thing, is it's always very personal and unique to the person, which I know that's when we give examples, it's quite tricky without it being tailored, because it's always to a certain person. But that's the thing, the vision of you seeing how you are in motherhood. So for example, I'll just share something that was very clear to me. I noticed that I always had a block that I'd created, because I always imagined that if I was to become a mother, that for me, just for me, this doesn't mean for anyone else, but something that was really important for me is to be able to be there at the end of the day to pick up my children. That was just something I imagined as a mother, okay? Not saying that's just something I envisioned, but I noticed I was a teacher, so there was physically no way that I would have been able to release children and pick my children up. And even though people could say, but I noticed I was subconsciously blocking myself, because I was always thinking, this is not saying you can't be a teacher and a mum. I'm not saying that. I'm saying my own personal reflection. But I noticed that I can't be a teacher and a mum. Yeah. So
yes, we create most of the blocks that we have in our life. So,
very creatively.
Yes, and they come out of all sorts of fears. The experiences that we had in childhood. It's either this perfect idea that we have, I don't know, around what it means to be a mom and how we should be. Maybe our mom was great and she gave us this really amazing foundation, and we feel like we need to step into her shoes, and not being able to pick up the kids that would mean I'm not, I'm not following her footsteps. Or maybe they gave us painful experiences,
Yeah, yeah,
and we didn't have what we want to give to our kids, and we're scared. What if I'm gonna continue that legacy? What if I'm gonna repeat my parents' mistakes? What if
yeah,
I'm gonna do exactly what they did, even though I said I'm never gonna do that? But we all
yeah.
know how it works, right? I say, if I'm ever like my mom or dad, please hit me on the head, and you just do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Uh, because
It- yeah.
we saw these patterns, we lived with them basically for our entire childhood, and it's normal that we copied it, even if it's not rational. It's gonna happen probably on a subconscious level, maybe on autopilot. You're not even going to be aware that you're
Yeah.
saying the same things, you're doing the same thing, you're creating the same pattern. And, even if we want something really badly, mm, if a part of us is scared for whatever reason, it's going to block that dream for sure.
Yeah. But that's the thing that I love that you so beautifully just showed live right now is I just shared a very small example of something that I'd realized, but you took it so much deeper. And this is where we think it's such a surface level thing of, oh, I would need to change my career in order to be a mum. But what you then said is, that could literally have gone back to how I felt when I was picked up by my mum or wasn't picked up by my mum or whatever the situation is. Um, or how I saw other people being picked up. There's so many layers
Mhm.
to it. So thank you so much for that. With that in
You're
mind,
welcome.
this is what she's here for, everyone. um, with that in mind, I know you have a butterfly technique. Do you want to share some about that?
Sure, I would love to. It kind of connects to what we talked about just now. Um, I've always been very interested in figuring out why people have problems and issues since I was very little. Like, I've always been the person people came to when they needed help or advice. My family members, my friends, and my schoolmates. It was like sometimes I wondered, is there some label on my forehead saying, come and share everything with me? I was really, I was just curious. Why? Why did they do it? And I remember even, I don't know, when I was in college and we went out to party, people just, they gathered, like they felt the energy and they started sharing very personal stuff with me. People who maybe I only met or maybe spoke to once or twice. And then I remember a friend telling me, how is it possible that they share with you such intimate and personal things? And I said, I don't know. Um, and, I've always felt like I needed to engage. It was never like a burden for me because
Mm,
I remember my mom asking me, but isn't this heavy? Isn't this difficult? I said, no, this is something
wow.
that I truly enjoy. And, being like someone who tries to figure out why they have the problem that they have, this is something that I engage very passionately.
Mm,
And it's how this technique was also created because it kind of takes us to three very important stages. The first one is the caterpillar stage, in which I do intuitive diagnostics and archetypal analysis, and I really dissect my client's life in great detail. So I ask them questions and they share what their problem is, just like you shared it, you know, like maybe just an idea or a fear. And I immediately see this whole scheme, like, it's like a diagram that just opens up in front of me. And I
Wow.
say, oh, okay, this comes from here, this comes from here. And I can't really say why I have it. I just have it since I can remember. And it helps me, pinpoint what the real root cause of their problem is. And once I do that, in that first stage, I also develop a personalized program for everyone. It doesn't really matter if it's fertility or love or health.
Well, that's what I could hear. Just that's I'm happy you're sharing that, because that's really what I could hear is, okay, you specialize in that, but actually this is something everybody has access to. So thank you for really, really confirming that. Sorry, please continue.
Yeah, no worries. People usually think that this is mainly what I do, that I only help people with fertility issues, but the truth is this is just one little piece of my work. It's one field, one area that I kind of feel connected to, because it was also my personal story. But my personal story was also changing my life, decreasing stress. It was also changing jobs and finding my life purpose. And I had a lot of challenges in other areas of life, even in relationships and so on. So I basically did the exact same thing in all these challenging situations and periods of my life. And this is how I also try to help my clients. So after I determine the root cause in the first stage, I take them to the cocoon stage, in which after I develop this individualized program for them, which always is very different, because everyone has a different story. They have a different background, different blocks, and it cannot be like a generic program.
No.
It has to be adjusted to their situation. And in that second stage, I take them through a healing journey. And you can imagine it like timeline healing. So I take them back to the inner child period, the early trauma. Then I take them back to the prenatal era. For some, it's even birth trauma related. And then we go even further back. We go into ancestral patterns, and for some people, even into past lives, if they're interested. So it's like really, just taking this long journey back. That's why I said it's not a quick fix. It's like a process that you need to go through. For some people, it opens up very fast because we tap into the right thing immediately. And I had clients where, I don't know, they had this breakthrough, or they got pregnant, or they found the person that they wanted to be with very fast, like after 1 or 2 sessions.
Wow.
For some people, it takes the entire program, which usually takes about 12 weeks, so it's not that long. But for some, like committing for I don't know, 3 months is also a lot.
But just because I want to really not sell you, but celebrate you here. If for however many years you've experienced, I think 3 months, 12 weeks is pretty easy. It's pretty good.
Yes, so, I hope so. Even though some people, they are always in a rush, they're always in a hurry. And I said, we cannot rush things. We cannot jump through important steps. This is the process. This is how I work. And I kind of figured that people who want a magic wand don't really come to me. It's like they just, eliminate themselves before we even get to the point of working together. But then in this stage, we really integrate all this healing, and the transformation begins. And sometimes this transformation happens in silence. That's why I call it the cocoon stage.
Wow.
Not much happens during this stage, but then suddenly, when you're ready, to come out of the cocoon, and when the third stage happens, that stage is you becoming the butterfly. That's the moment when you maybe forgot about that wish, about that dream, and you focus on everything that needs to change before you get there. And then you're surprised. Oh wow, now I'm pregnant, or now I found that very special person, or my health issues just disappeared. And it's usually when we let go, that's important thing that you kind of mentioned earlier. Once we let go and we allow things to, just happen naturally in the right moment, under the right circumstances, and we need to create those circumstances, of course, let's be clear.
Yes.
When we allow everything to fall into place, that thing will just happen.
Yeah.
And you won't really have to push for it. It's going to happen on its own. And that's what happens in the third stage. And my clients always tell me that, even if we worked on, I don't know, fertility or abundance, they figure out that we worked on other areas as well.
Yeah.
So they see this domino effect that I talked about, because it goes into all
beautiful,
all fields and areas, actually. That's how this butterfly technique was created, because this is what I feel is the right path to really change things.
Absolutely.
Because once you pull out the root, then there's absolutely no reason for you to get back into that same cycle, into that same pattern over and over again, which means you don't have to get sick again. It means you don't have to find that toxic relationship again. You don't have to struggle again if you just pull out the root.
And that's, thank you so much for highlighting that, because I think that's really key. Because I think sometimes, and it's not saying that these other techniques don't work and things, but someone say, and it is a lot about what we believe as well, because they go and have this session. If you truly believe that, then results. But equally, I think I always go back to often, and this is not the case for everyone, but how often as a child did we just get told, do it, but we didn't understand why. Whereas what I love about your technique is, because I believe this, and maybe, what we believe we receive, so others might not. But what I believe is, even if, say, I've connected with an incredible woman like you and I'm understanding it and I've seen the results, I believe life comes back, not always in the same way, but it will come back again. So if you haven't integrated that, you haven't fully understood it, then it's going to be almost like a repeat again in another way of like, oh, well, what do I do? Because you've gone, say, had that session where someone's abracadabraed and you're like, oh, wow. But then now you're almost putting them as a bit of a pedestal, or the only way to fix you, because it's like, oh, well, I have to go to that person again to get the result. Whereas I love that what I'm hearing is you give the power back to the people and you allow them to say, okay, hold on, this feels familiar, I know what's happening here. I think I'm going to have a go at this again, what we went through in the cocoon stage and the different parts and the different levels. And I think this is the beauty of why I love connecting with leaders like you, because I think often, and there's no right or wrong, but I think so many people have like the magic secret, but they don't want people to know it, and they want to just show you, I'm so fabulous, done. And that's fine. We're all different. We're all on different paths. And like what you said, people want a quick fix. They want it done yesterday. But equally, how much more empowering is it to not only go on that journey with you and know that they can reach back out to you, but equally they take that control back of their life as well. I think that's so beautiful. So for mental health as well, not just physically seeing. I think a lot of us, it's our whole well-being. So thank you.
And that's what I also want to teach my clients, that you have to approach every problem you have very holistically. It's not just the symptom that you see. There's something underneath it, and that's what I help my clients uncover, is what is hidden underneath your problems. Because we are all intuitive, right? We're all a soul, basically. But there's a difference. Some people are more open to their gifts, some are less. So we can't really change that, because at this point you are where you are, and if you can't see things, then maybe you need outside help.
Absolutely.
which we
Absolutely.
talked about in the beginning, is there's nothing wrong with it. That's why we live with other people. Otherwise, we wouldn't need each other. It couldn't be
Yeah,
just one or
yeah,
two people. Why would we need others, right?
yeah,
It's like, accepting that we are here for each other, not, to compete, not
yeah, yeah.
to be jealous of each other, but rather, take what the other person has to offer, because
Absolutely.
it's some unique gift that maybe at this moment you don't have.
Beautiful.
And
Well said. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I always think, when there's all these podcasts, all these no, I don't see it like that. I see it as you are unique, I am unique, everyone is unique, and we might be saying the same, doing similar, but only you can do it the way you do it. Only I can do it the way I do it. And so I don't see it as competition. When, you see sometimes you put something up and it almost looks like someone's mimicked it. But actually, if you really, really believe in what you're putting out into the world, then you should see abundance of it because it shows the alignment,
exactly. And you can't really copy other people's work,
Absolutely.
It's
a compliment. Because you wouldn't copy someone you're not inspired by. You wouldn't do that. Like, I'm going to copy that person that I think, what are they doing?
Exactly. It's a compliment, but it's also, I think everyone needs somebody else.
Absolutely.
We don't have the same energy. Yeah. We match with certain people and we don't match with others, and they need help too. So maybe someone with a different energy or different frequency is going to be perfect for them, right?
Absolutely. And
that's, so I think there's enough for everyone.
Yes. And you so beautifully said it, because you could say exactly the same as someone else and it might not land, or it might land, or they get that transformation, they don't, because naturally, even the frequency of our voice, even the way we say things, even the way we do things has different effects on different people. So that's the beauty of us all, if you want, tapping into something greater than ourselves in order to offer it. I think it's beautiful. Really, thank you so much. I feel like there's so much more we could have talked about, but I want to also be really conscious of the time. Equally, this is your episode, and I really want, if there's anything else that you feel that you haven't expressed yet that you would love to still share, that would benefit the viewers, feel free. This is your time, so use it now. But thank you, really. I've enjoyed this conversation so much.
Me too. It was really a lovely conversation. Thank you. Maybe something that you pointed out, and I also been thinking about in the last 2 days, I even had conversations about this same topic, is what you just mentioned, being unique. We sometimes think that if we're different, if we have certain issues, if we have problems, that we need to hide them because we need to blend in with the masses. We need to, have everything that everyone else has. We need to have that house and the dog and the husband and the kids and the business and I don't know which car. And because, I don't know, society expects it from you. But the truth is, nobody's story is the same. You should not do something that other people are expecting you to have just because it's normal. You can be different. You can be unique. You can even say, look, even though it sounds weird, I don't want to be a mom. Or you can even say, I think I love my life purpose or my job too much. And I know that if I do both, I can't be good in any area, which is also your right?
Absolutely.
And whatever is going on in your life is going on for a reason. And even if you're not the person that everybody expected you to be, even if you don't fit with the expectations of other people, you don't blend with the masses, it's perfectly fine. When do I? Not with my hair, not with my name, not with the work that I do. And I know that not everyone accepts that. There are people who will be always bothered. But it's very important that we learn that being unique and different and special, maybe even having some challenges and difficulties, is not an obstacle. It's rather a gift. And if you know how to use it, it can become something wonderful and beautiful. But you need to be able to accept yourself as you are, like unique, different, name it whatever you want it. Even a person who, let's say, cannot have kids, that's not a block, that's not an issue. You can have beautiful a beautiful life mission somewhere else.
Yeah.
You can express that mother archetype in a different
That's the thing. You can be actually biologically anyone that can have the title of a mother or a father, but actually the acts that follow it and the way you make another feel says a lot about the different roles, you know, that we are attracted to. Like even as a teacher, I felt very maternal, you know. They were my little babies, and I defended them, you know. So but were they my children? No. Did I give them away at the end of the day? But you can't say that I didn't feel that real unconditional love for them. And so yeah, this is the beauty of this world, you know, that there's many children out there who are waiting for, you know, loving families to take them in and care for them and look after them. And that's the thing, like, you know, of course, when you imagine in your mind, like, I want to have my own child, you have created that, and you are more than worthy of deserving it. But equally, there are so many other ways you can be a mother. You can, whatever it is that you desire in your heart, there's ways to make everything happen, always.
And you know, what you want and what you need is not always what you think you need.
Oh yeah.
You need to be open to getting a version of your dream in whatever way it was supposed to happen. So maybe it's not naturally, maybe it's not your own, maybe it comes through your partner one day. Someone who already has kids, and you can be a perfectly beautiful mom for them.
Absolutely.
Or, you know, just like you said, it's work, it's your life purpose. You can even be maternal when you work with other people, like I don't know, a coach or a therapist. We all need that love and compassion, and you know, it's so many. There's so many ways in which you can fulfill the mother archetype.
Absolutely.
So be whoever you are, be whatever you want to be. Don't let anyone tell you how your life needs to go, what it needs to look like, and which roles you need to play. You need to decide upon that.
Absolutely. Wow, thank you so much. And it's just ironic that usually at the end of every episode I always say, if there's someone listening right now would really benefit from hearing, what would you tell them? And I just feel like you're more than welcome to add anything extra, but I feel like you just expressed something so beautiful at the end. And really, it's been such a pleasure and honor connecting with you, and I wish you like an abundance in all that you are doing, and I know you're changing so many people's lives. Yeah, just keep shining and inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you. I really love your energy, and it was really a beautiful conversation. So I hope we get a chance to talk again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
That's the magic that Zest is in.